morning, judges and teachers. We're a team from Fudan University. And today we're going to tell you a story about how the big, fat, and slow IT giant is going to regain its position in this whole new world. So we all know about the story about Kodak. It winked at the camera when the camera first began, but it failed to anticipate the wave of technology, so it failed. So there's no Kodak now. So this is happening all the time in the IT industry. If one company wins one wave, they can become the number one in this industry, but this kind of position will prevent them from anticipating the next wave. So it will be very easy to start a small IT company, but it will be extremely hard to maintain an IT company throughout centuries. So this is what Microsoft has encountered, the problem. So we can see that Microsoft, it gains one wave at PC time. So it gains its market position through the personal computers. However, it failed to anticipate every wave after then, like the search engine industry and the social network and mobile, and who knows next. So, and there's also one problem about Microsoft. They have all the services, but there's no shining points. So it has Windows, Xbox, IE, Bing searches, and the phone. But IE, we all know what IE is. It's a tool for us to download Chrome, another browser. We all know Bing. We seldom use Bing. We use Google. And Windows phones, it cannot compete with the iOS. So in the past, what Microsoft do is that they can bundle these together. Like if you buy a PC, that you have to use IE. But nowadays, there are extremely lot of choices for you to choose. If you don't want to use IE, then nobody can force you to do this. So because Microsoft cannot anticipate the wave, and Microsoft cannot force the customers to use their service, it's facing a huge trouble here. So what is the future challenges for Microsoft? Is it how to anticipate the next wave? We believe not. It is very, very hard for a giant like Microsoft to anticipate every of the waves. It is to follow. If they follow, it dies. And it's to acquire. Well, nobody can really have a very good success by acquiring other people's success. So we believe how Microsoft can win. It is not about anticipating. It's not about following. It's not about acquiring. It is about creating a circle, an environmental circle, so that we don't know what next wave is. But Microsoft, if under our plan, if the wave comes, then it will be coming in the circle of Microsoft. So this is our topic of this presentation. That is to create the circle, the next wave, which is a new and open Microsoft. And during our presentation, we'll be telling you how we can create this kind of circle. We can provide, there are some should and don'ts. In the past, Microsoft are doing too much than what they should do. They force other people out. They believe their product is the best, but actually it's not. And they refuse to collaborate with people outside the Microsoft circle. But now we believe this circle should be larger. And then we'll tell you how we can build the community, how we can attract people to come into this circle like what Apple has did. And also, we're going to tell you what is going to be the ecosystem within the circle. So we know Microsoft do software and hardware. So Microsoft's hardware, when competing with other hardwares, like we have Nokia and we have Samsung also using Windows Phone. So, but under our explanation, you understand this is not purely a competition. With certain behaviors, we can lead other hardwares. So we can build a better infrastructure and ecosystem here. So I will let my teammates to tell you how to create the circle.
Okay, thanks for Lord Zheng's introduction. And now I will show you how we can make it that we will not miss any exciting wave drivers. Yeah, okay. And the first thing I want to show you is our solution that we want to invite all the possible wave drivers to our platform to help us. How we can do this? First, we can come to see this. What we have that our competitors don't have. It's that because we have a whole platform that we have eyes. A platform, we know we have Windows Azure in many places of the world. We can help it to storage their data in our platform, and they can take full use of the cloud computing possibility. And we have platform to invite the developers to share their success in our platform, and we also have a long experience of software developing, and we have this skill. And so we are the only company in the world that can have these three things. So that's our advantage. And so we will use this advantage to offer a whole package to the specialized company. And what means specialized company? That it has a special skill in some kind of area. I will give you an example later. And so if they use our package, they can develop their software or develop their something like that in our platform, and they can invite all the developers to help them to develop it here, and they can also sell it on our platform, and so they can lower their cost and also broaden their range of customers, as well as develop it better with help from others. And for example, as it comes from a medicine data company, it can storage their data in our ICE platform, and also it can develop SaaS by themselves, but also it can ask a small platform specially for their medicine data in our PaaS platform, and because there are many developers in our PaaS, and so they will know that there's a company needs this kind of software, and they will develop for us. And the third thing is that we have a long experience of software developing. If they need help with Microsoft can help them like that. And that's the first thing. And the second, we will have a developer community. Why Microsoft can do this? As we have known that a lot of hackers, they are really proud of if they find an error in the Microsoft system. And so Microsoft is king in this world. And if we have a community and tell them if you're in the community, we will give you a lot of pride, or if you find an error, we will invite you to our company, something like that. They will be like in our community, and based on this community, if they have developed something really helpful to the world, it will be helpful to our platform. And so it is not only good for our platform, but also for the specialized company. And that's our strategy. Thank you. Let's invite Zhao Jun to give us another
Okay, thanks for Xiao's explanation about what is our circle. And more of her word is about how we can build the former, like the initial part of the circle. But another important issue here is how we can cooperate with some other device companies and some other competitors. It's also an important issue for us to gather sustainable development in the world. And so let us take the mobile devices for an example. So the conflict here, for example, is like we all know that Microsoft has acquired Nokia. It is a mobile phone device provider, right? But also for some other companies like Samsung, it also receives and has a Windows phone system, which is belong to the Microsoft. And there we can see a direct competition relationship between the Nokia and the Samsung. So there is some fierce tension between the two entities, between Microsoft and some other competitors. So how we can reduce or soften the tension and help us to gain a more sustainable development. So we provide a solution which is set a sample like others. And we know that our circle is from infrastructure to software and to hardware, which means some hardware devices. And this is a circle we want to build. And in order to tackle the direct competition between our devices, like some Microsoft devices like Nokia and Surface, with some other device provider like Dell and HP and HTC, like them. So we should be a sample to list some other device providers. So here, if we already have an innovation, like some innovation idea about some business idea, and we can design some apps, and we gain all the data as a base to provide a solution. Then we can apply such apps in our Microsoft devices to provide a whole solution, including the Microsoft devices. Then some other device companies may have seen our success or the establishment of a whole solution providing offering for them. Then the other device companies can learn from us, or they can just copy from us. So our relationship is not the direct competitor anymore, and we are a leader in the whole ecosystem. And that's the solution that we give for how we can reduce the tension between our hardware and our software, and between the hardware of other companies and our companies. And that's just a small part of how we can build a sustainable circle in our case. And next, I will invite Yun Hongming to give us a summary about our strategy.
Okay, thank you. And now I will give an action plan of our strategy. Basically, we have a plan in short term and in the long term. In short term, we want to focus on the infrastructure building. So we must ensure that our platform is strong enough to support the data and the information sharing. So that we want to especially strengthen our platforms such as software as a service, infrastructure as a service, and platform as a service, so that we encourage the developers to share their information, talents, and their applications on our platform. So it's like a big store, a storage. So data are gathering here, and different people can exchange their applications and data here. So by doing this, we want to form a community. So where we can use our hardware advantage to attract the developers to develop their new ideas on our platform. And we also want to tackle with the problem of competition. So we want to make sure our platform is open enough, and we can leverage our advantage in the hardware, and then invite more software developers to develop their software on our platforms. And in the long term, we hope to get an integrated platform and a sustainable circle where competition is converted into collaboration, and the advantages of different stakeholders can be integrated together. So a brief summary, basically we want to create a circle. So this circle integrated platform includes a lot of cloud services, including IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. So a great community is formed on this platform. So we are the leader and the organizer, and they are the contributors of ideas. And we want to set a sample and lead others by using our advantage in hardware. And we also want to invite the newcomers, the new developers to develop the software, so we can form a synergy effect. So you see, what we want to do are not creating some separated business parts. What we want is an integrated Microsoft circle. We want to wave in the new technology waves in the new technology world. Thank you very much. This is our presentation, and we welcome any questions from all of you.
Thank you.
question, if I may. I think the idea you have of an integrated circle is certainly a very good one. It uses Microsoft's existing strength, which is an open system, compared to Apple, for instance, where they control their whole ecosystem. Could you elaborate a little bit more on what you see are the unique strengths of Microsoft's this circle that you're proposing compared to Apple's apps provision software with regards to how they encourage the apps developers to go onto their platform?
Okay, so the first thing is just as I mentioned before, we are the only company that we have a whole platform include iPaaS SaaS. Of course, as we know, if we use different platforms, some computing languages are different, and we can not help them communicate with each other. Or if we don't use the same and if we use the same platform, we can lower their cost but of high quality. And so that's the first thing. And the second thing is that we will use the reputation of Microsoft to create a developed community, and that will help us.
There's one simple point I want to add, that although we say that Microsoft has missed all the waves after the PC, but still owns most of the PC in the world. So that will be our biggest advantage. So we have those PCs, but now we are not using them. So with this circle, we want to use those PCs. So you may not have a Mac, but you have a PC. We want to connect your PCs to any other functions we develop further in our cycle. Say there will be medical apps that we can connect you with your PC, and say there's a smart in-house appliance app, and we can connect your appliance with your PC. That's what Apple cannot do now.
In Circle, depends a lot on external party joining. So why do you think that they want to join Microsoft Circle? You mentioned Microsoft Circle. So it's becoming subordinate to this big company. So what make it attractive to sell it to the external?
Well, first of all, they have to join a circle. Maybe it's Microsoft Circle, maybe it's Google Circle or Apple Circle. But these developers, they have to rely on a bigger platform. So I may think that your question is why our circle is better than Apple's and Google's. So first of all, we're going to develop a lot about infrastructure. So Microsoft, it may not have the fancy apps, but now it has the biggest infrastructure and some cloud data. And also, as I mentioned, it has some terminals like PCs. So also, Microsoft is not doing very good currently on the community, the development, but we are going to focus on that in the future.
I think the most important thing for the platform is to create the shared value. So maybe our profits and revenue can be kind of shared or or smartly distributed among the stakeholders. So if the application developers can join our platform and share the data, so that we can give them some bonus, and we can help to make this community stronger to be the top in the market.
I buy it, but I don't, and I would like to understand a little bit more as to why would I, as Microsoft that owns Nokia, if I am Samsung, want to collaborate with you? Samsung and Nokia are absolute ends of the pole. How do you address that bit? I understand you're talking about the collaboration, but it's pure competition for me.
Well, we think that from the perspective of Microsoft. So if I'm Microsoft and I have some very fancy technology that I like smart medical system, so I want to apply on one of the smartphones. So if I don't own Nokia, then I will have to talk to Samsung. I will beg you to please let me put my system on your smartphone, and I may share a lot of profit to Samsung. And now if I own Nokia, then I can directly do what I want to do with full control on the Nokia phone. And if Nokia comes to a success, then we will have the bargaining power, and Samsung will have to come to us.
I guess just to get a bit more details around Ram's point, what is on the circle, what are the characteristics of the circle proposing that would ensure that the platform is open enough so that Samsung and Nokia would collaborate, but on the other hand, to the extent that Samsung has some sensitive trade or technological breakthrough, that they are also able to not share that. And I think that there's a conflict there, right? Between it, yes, IT people do need to collaborate, but then they also need to be the first to come to market with the top trade secret.
Yeah, the problem comes that we don't want our Samsung to use or to share their experience with us, but just part of them, because they are targeted at different customers, and some part of their customers target they want to make use of our applications or something like that. And for these customers, they will divide Samsung will divide their products into several parts, and to use these parts to cooperate with us. And we don't need to share so many kind of things. We just they open an API, so and we can enter that.
Yes, so I think the ultimate goal is to maximize the whole the best the profit of the whole community. So maybe what we want to collaborate with Samsung are those parts that we have the most overlapped revenue or profits. So maybe we don't need to collaborate in any aspect with Samsung. So what we should do is to convince them that we have the most overlapped value in this part. So you can join our community and we contribute together.
If I was to play the devil's advocate and tell you Microsoft is history, I really don't want to use the hardware. I, as Apple, want to create my own. I own Samsung, by the way. So I want to create my own platform. What are you doing, or what is your thoughts on how you address that component of it? Because your whole circle story completely goes off whack if I, as a consumer, want to use a different platform than Microsoft.
Yeah.
I cannot agree with you more. Because our strategy is based on that. First, we have the circle, and now when the next wave comes, it will be within the circle.
Correct.
So when the wave comes and we get a wave, and then we will be success again. So we will step on the wave and we will be a step further than Apple. So currently, I would say it's hard to convince you that Microsoft has the best. But if we first have the community, and then we have the wave, and then it will be easier for me to convince you that.
It seems like, again, the circle is something that you have already determined that's the end game. And
Yes.
it's the same as what they've done before. Oh, I want to do this. And now everyone pushed to that. So what's the challenges that you see from, first of all, making sure that this is the end game, which is the right answer for this firm? And then how do you actually push the whole firm to move from what they're doing right now to that end game?
The flaw, to add on, the flaw with Microsoft is that it focuses purely on hardware. And you guys are coming back exactly with the notion that hardware will play the integral part in where Microsoft is T plus X years from now. So
Yes,
I,
you're right.
I share that exact sentiment.
So what's the, perhaps I'll rephrase the question to make it easier. So what do you think is the change to the firm in what they're doing right now to the end game of having the circle? Okay, so the circle is what you think is the best solution for the firm right now. What do you see is the changes from what they're doing right now, the current infrastructure, to this new collaborations?
Okay, thank you very much. So I think maybe the first thing is about the mind state. I think in the case it says that within Microsoft there are many business units, but sometimes these businesses are competing with each other too fiercely. So maybe the first challenge is how to leverage the advantages of this business unit and make them integrate together. So maybe we don't have a very concrete solution, but I think maybe they can change the way of they think things, the way they think things. So maybe they should they can create like a cloud platform where it's like a center, so that different business units can work together and share the information here. So to leverage the resources of the different units, getting together, so that then we will get closer to our circle.
I think I can add something after her answer. I think there are two major things we need to focus. The first thing is about some internal restructuring. For Microsoft, the original way for how they operate business is to bundle many of its business units. As we said, in Windows we bundle with IE or something like that. And then the first step for us is to debundle all the things and to make every business unit to be stronger without some other bundling with some other business units to build its competition advantage. And the second step, I think, is for some external change. Because we want to build a community, so we need to incorporate some other efforts, like from some developers and also our maybe some competitors who are our long-term cooperators. And so the second step for us is to embrace all the other entities to be embracing our current circle. So I think there are two major things we need to change from the current situation.
Do you think the people in Microsoft are willing to accept this? Because there are long-timers in Microsoft, and a lot of people, 120,000 employees. How do you make them accept this change?
Well, first of all, there are also different opinions within Microsoft. So there are and relatively older generations and younger generations. So we believe it's a bottom-up thing. So we must let the employees, that's the young employees, or they understand the importance of circle, and they can do the ways which you want them to do currently, and when they get a good effect, and the ideas will go up and ultimately influence the higher level.
This is a complete oddball question. What thought have you put into the notion that something like an Apple or Google is not already thought of or is doing what you are thinking of right now? I'll leave it there.
Okay.
Maybe we have to consider two things. The first is that what they are thinking, and the second is that whether they can do it in a short time or whether they can acquire the first stage as we do. Yeah. So they are thinking of cloud computing and something like that, but they don't have such kind of infrastructure. But Windows Azure have, and our reputation is not bad, it's not worse than them. And if we come on the stage and we get all the market acquired, and so when they come here, they have to take a lot of efforts to get it. Yeah.
Well, we believe that Apple and let me just add one thing. We believe that Apple and Google are on the extreme two ends of a roll. So Google is extremely open, and Apple is extremely closed. So, but we believe that a better choice will be a Microsoft on the middle. That's some part we should open, and some part we should do what Apple do. So we believe that is a better solution for the current world.
And why?
Because we all know that the problem of too open is there will be a lot of work overlapped. And the problem of too close is you can't get mind of other people thinking. So we believe we have to reach a balance. So what Microsoft do is to reach a balance to get higher efficiency. So that means a little bit closer on the infrastructure, but also open on getting other people's minds. So like software and applications.
Yeah, and just like the Chinese saying goes that if it always open, it will be closed, and it is closed too long, it will be open. Yeah, so we can imagine that maybe Apple is always open, but the Apple is always closed. But the innovation of one company cannot always exist. What is it after Jobs? And we have seen that there's not so much innovation after that. But Google is always open, and so but we can know that the business is not supported by the applications or the Android systems, but it's supported by the advertisement of the engine of the, you know that? Yeah, so we are differentiating.
How much time do we have left?
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, team from
Good luck.
Fudan University.
Thank you.
Please have a
Thank
seat
you.
and wait until the end of the competition.
Thank
Good
you.
job, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.